Hello again, Gooners. Why doesn't the camera move over this way? I mean, since I went on automatic, look, I'm trying to swing this way and that just to try and make the camera move. It's supposed to do it. It's supposed to be automatic, but instead, what have I got? I've just got a part of a sign. Bit like having part of a team. Right, I'm down here. I'm up here. I mean, oh, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But yeah, maybe I could become Arsenal manager if I don't know what I'm talking about. No, Arsene knows what he's talking about, but somehow or other it's going dramatically wrong. And obviously, as fans, we are the recipients of this wrongdoing, and that's never going to change, is it? With I'm not saying I want Wenger out. I'm not going to say that just yet. I know I've been reading a lot of stuff on the internet uh, in the wake of that defeat. I'm just looking it up now. In the wake of that defeat against Blackburn, I mean, I didn't watch the game live because I had somewhere I had to go, and but I came home thinking when I asked my dad what was the score, I was expecting to hear that Arsenal at least won it, and to hear that we'd been defeated, and then I watched a lot of the game, and you can see why. It's not the players are not putting effort in. It's not a case of that. It's more a case of the players are just not good enough. The players we've got right now are simply not good enough for Arsenal Football Club. They're good enough for a lot of teams. They're not sub Premiership level. Although my head is dropping lower and lower, it seems, on the screen. It's not a case of them being sub Premier League level, but they're simply not good enough for this club. If we want to win trophies, we need better players. It's not rocket science. Football is a simple game. Why can't Arsene Wenger see that? Why does Arsene Wenger think that it's scientifically proven that if you put a player on in the 70th minute, it's going to make a difference? It doesn't work like that. Even I know that. Well, yeah, I've played at a reasonable level actually and been paid for it and been paid to coach. But it doesn't put me in Arsene Wenger's league. Obviously, Arsene is is more than a few steps above me in the pecking order as far as football's concerned. He's way above me, and who am I to question what he's doing? Who is anyone to question what he's doing? Well, the point is we're paying money, or I didn't this time because I didn't get a ticket for that last game. But when I have paid good money to see Arsenal play, I'm seeing I'm seeing substandard performances. Given the amount of money we're paying, we expect more, and we're not seeing it. Obviously, if he's going to play a team, I was thinking it's a unholy Trinity. As soon as you've got Jovino, that's one. That's he's like the kingpin of the underperformers. Then alongside him, Diaby, never a favourite of mine. I didn't think played that badly, but he didn't play that well either. A lot of misplaced passes. When he does get the ball, he dwells on it. He doesn't push it forward quick enough for my liking. He's fragile as a stick insect. To me, it's just like instead of having a big, thick sort of oak tree in the middle of midfield, we've got a twiglet playing there. That's what it looks like. Quite a long, large twiglet, and yeah, it might be a savoury snack for parties, but other than that, twiglets haven't got a lot of use in my life. And I kind of went off them. It's a bit like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it, and I believe Marmite's on twiglets. So please bear with me with these very long sort of extended metaphors. But yeah, to me, Diaby's a twiglet, and he's not a twiglet that I can appreciate anymore. And I'm not even sure I appreciated him pre-injury. Post-injury, he's not been the same player. A lot of people would say the same about Aaron Ramsey. I'm not ready to write Ramsey off yet, but I am ready to write Diaby off, even though he did have a header that was saved. It was a pretty strong header. Could have gone in on another day. We weren't that lucky. Rosicky is one of the unholy trinity to me as well. I think he's past it. He's had too many injuries, and he's just not the player he was. He was a good player, not particularly for Arsenal. He's a pretty good international player. Obviously, he's clocked up a lot of caps for the Czech Republic. He can't be bad to do that. None of the players are bad. That's the thing. Jovino is a serial misser when it comes to chances in front of goal. He always misses a target. Scored 2 goals, is it, this season? Something ridiculous, and they were right at the start. He scored a couple of goals for his country. So what? Yeah, okay, it was in the African Nations Cup. It's not the easiest tournament in the world, but clearly it's not the same level as Premier League football, is it? And Jovino, He's not a goal scorer. Why can't Arsene see that? Why? Is it because he's a control freak, as some people in the media are suggesting? Perhaps. I don't know. I don't know if that's the reason. But something clearly is wrong, and it needs addressing. And what we're doing is we're sort of covering up the cracks all the time. I mean, playing Coquelin at right back, um, it's not doing the kid any justice, is it? I mean, he's not a kid now; he's 20 something, but still, he's still making his way in the game. He's learning his trade, and he's being put in an uncomfortable position, literally playing at right back. Within 3 minutes, he'd given away a free kick. He'd been done on the left wing. The left winger had gone past him after a quick 1-2. Luckily, it got ruled offside. That wasn't the best of starts for Coquelin. Coquelin's a good player, and his confidence is being eroded by being played out of position. Then we've got the Arshavin situation. Some kid said to me the other day, "Why doesn't Arsene Wenger play Arshavin?" I said, I ask the same question all the time. When he does play, he plays okay, but then we don't see him again. What the hell is going on? Sorry, I'm beginning to rant a little bit, but who can avoid ranting? But like I've said all along, I'm not saying Arsene has to go. I'm just saying there needs to be changes, and some of those changes have to be near the top, if not at the top. I would say there's a lot of talk in you should check the online Gooner. There's a really good story by Kevin Witcher, who I have a lot of respect for, as you know, doing Gooner podcasts with him on occasion. He said there's been a massive row between Arsene Wenger and Steve Bold. I don't know the veracity of that. I don't know if it's true or untrue. Don't know why the camera's moving either. Maybe he doesn't like what I'm saying, but neither do I. I don't want to be talking about these kind of things. I want to be talking about victories. I know it's boring for the media, but that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Arsenal winning trophies. Ian Wright, he's really on it. Arsene Wenger's case, as is Paul Merson. These guys talk the truth usually. I know they get paid by the media to be controversial, but they do it because I actually believe, particularly Ian Wright loves the club, and even Paul Merson, even though he's a Chelsea fan, I think he loves Arsenal. I really do. Anyway, Steve Bold, one way or another, is not making the difference he seemed to be making at the start of the season. I don't know how much I read into this idea that they've had a massive fallout, but I wouldn't necessarily believe the contrary either. I don't think it's a happy family at the moment. There's so many bizarre things happening. Obviously, the Arshavin thing I mentioned. Podolski's in and out of the team. He seems to be playing with an injury. We've got Chesney in goal, and we've seen a better goalkeeper playing against us for Blackburn. Keane had an excellent game in goal. I know we don't like the name Keane very much, because it obviously brings to mind Tottenham, a Tottenham player of the past, but nonetheless, Keane had a good game. So why are we not looking for a talent like that to push Chesney all the way? This was an England under-20 goalkeeper we were up against, and we couldn't manage to score against him. Obviously, we did go close. Rosicki's shot hit the crossbar. That was unlucky. We were a little bit unlucky against Blackburn, but let's not cover up issues that need addressing. This is what's going on at the club. Can we win against Bayern Munich? Even Paul Merson said, yes, we can. Sounding a little bit like Bob the Builder, but I'm not sure we can't win against Bayern Munich over one in a one match situation at the Emirates. I think perhaps our team will bounce back. They'll be certainly up for it. I'm expecting a draw, possibly a narrow victory. Is that going to be enough? I'd say probably not. Are we going to win the Champions League? I'd say definitely not. Are we going to finish top four? I can't rule that out. I've said at the start of the season we'd finish third. Probably we wouldn't win any trophies. I think I said that. I certainly said we'd finish third. Worst case scenario, fourth. Now it's looking like it's going to be tight. But the point is, I know it's an old cliche, but being knocked out of these cup competitions does allow you to concentrate on the league. Should allow us to get our form together and actually move up the league. But it's not. We're not going to move up the league if we're playing Rosicki, Gervinho, and Diaby, the unholy Trinity. They will stop us moving up the league. As I said, they're not terrible players, but you've got three of them who are, in my opinion, average Premier League players at best. On a bad day, they're worse than that. And then you've got Coquelin, so that's four. But Coquelin is an up and coming player, so I don't really want to say too much about him, because I still think he may well be a top player of the future. But now I've talked about the future, let's talk about the past. I didn't say I was going to do this, but I'll do it anyway because I always get requests, normally from Hugh Wizzy, why don't you read the Bible? And you know our Bible is the Steve Stammer's official biography, the compelling story of an amazing club. We've been quite amazing this week, so let's finish off the week, shall we? Or start the week, because it is Sunday. Start the week with more about Henry Norris. And the subtitle on this one is Fulham or Arsenal. Norris, like many people with working class backgrounds, had long harboured a grudge against the Midlands and northern domination of the national winter sport. His plan was to form a club that would compete with the best that Birmingham, Manchester, Newcastle and Liverpool had to offer. He had tried Fulham, but eventually came to the conclusion that the power, finances and fan base of that affluent area of southwest London would not sustain a club with such lofty ambitions. For instance, by 1910, Fulham were in debt to the tune of £3,000. A bit of a princely sum back then, I should imagine. A significant sum in pre-First World War England. Arsenal were not in much better shape at the time, of course, but Norris had an idea. He would amalgamate the clubs. Arsenal were in a can I say it? Perhaps not. They were in a susceptible position after escaping relegation to the second division by a mere 2 points. His plan was to relocate Arsenal to Craven Cottage and combine the resources of both clubs. That would mean first division football in Fulham. The league, not surprisingly, rejected the proposal outright, but Norris came up with yet another proposal that would halve the costs and still give Craven Cottage top-flight football. Arsenal and Fulham could share the cottage and play on alternate Saturdays. Opposition came immediately from the other London clubs and the scheme was abandoned. It had occurred to the league that there was the prospect of a major conflict of interest to have one man as chairman of two clubs. They told him he had to choose, and faithfully from Arsenal's point of view he chose the club in Woolwich. He remained a director at Fulham, and the Fulham chairman, William Hall, became a director of Arsenal. Their first division status was no doubt a factor when Norris made his decision, although in 1913 Arsenal finished bottom of the first division. So there you go. That's a pretty short section, isn't it? But perhaps I've ranted on long enough about the need to do something at the club right now, so I don't need to delve into the past too much. Next time around, it's on the move again. So hopefully we will be on the move onwards and upwards, because at the moment, even though I haven't updated my league table, I think we're in about what position? 5th, is it? Beneath Everton, beneath Spurs. That's got to change. I was looking at the games coming up, and we've got some pretty scary games that we need to win. Obviously Villa at home. Well, I said we beat Blackburn at home and we couldn't manage that. Can we beat Aston Villa? Not based on that performance, obviously not. We can't. So somehow Arsene has to fix this. A bit like, as I said earlier, a bit like Bob the Builder. Until the next time, I'll say up the Gooners. And what's this phrase in sort of football speak that I like to use? Away. Till the next time. Bye.